Coming up on 5 Minute News. Suicide bomber in Nashville was homegrown terrorist. Trump signs funding measure at 11th hour. And Britain urges business to prepare for end of Brexit transition. It's Monday, December 28. I'm Anthony Davis. The man believed to have been responsible for the Christmas Day bombing that tore through downtown Nashville blew himself up in the explosion and appears to have acted alone, federal officials said last night. Investigators used DNA and other evidence to link the man, identified as Anthony Quinn Warner, to the mysterious explosion, but claimed they have not determined a motive. Officials have received hundreds of tips and leads, but have concluded that no one other than Warner is believed to have been involved in the early morning explosion that damaged dozens of buildings and injured 3 people. Nashville is considered safe, said Metro Nashville Police Chief John Drake. There are no known threats against this city. In publicly identifying the suspect and his fate, officials disclosed a major breakthrough in their investigation, even as they acknowledged the lingering mystery behind the explosion, which took place on a holiday morning well before downtown streets were bustling with activity, and was accompanied by a recorded announcement warning anyone nearby that a bomb would soon detonate. Then, for reasons that may never be known, the audio switched to a recording of Petula Clark's 1964 hit Downtown shortly before the blast. Investigators have not uncovered a singular motive for the act, nor was it revealed why Warner had selected the particular location for the bombing, which damaged an AT&T building and has continued to wreak havoc on cell phone service and police and hospital communications in several southern states as the company worked to restore service. Some speculated online that 63-year-old Warner was a 5G network conspiracy theorist. Warner was not known to law enforcement before the Christmas Day blast. In the past month, Warner appeared to put his affairs in order. He transferred ownership of the home where he'd lived for decades. He informed a regular business client he would no longer be working. Property records show on the day before Thanksgiving, Warner transferred the title of his longtime Bakertown Road home to a Los Angeles woman. The transaction, a quitclaim deed that did not require the woman's signature, was made for $0. The US government headed toward a chaotic last few days as President Donald Trump finally signed a $900 billion pandemic relief package that will deliver long-sought cash to businesses and individuals. It also averts a government shutdown. The massive bill includes $1.4 trillion to fund government agencies through September and contains other end-of-session priorities, such as money for cash-starved transit systems and an increase in food stamp benefits. Democrats are promising more aid to come once President-elect Joe Biden takes office, but Republicans are signaling a wait-and-see approach. Trump blindsided members of both parties and upended months of negotiations when he demanded last week that the package, which already passed the House and Senate by large margins and believed to have Trump's support, should be revised to include larger relief checks and scaled-back spending. On Sunday evening, Trump offered the vaguest of updates, tweeting, "Good news on COVID relief bill, information to follow," appearing to seek praise for attempting to solve a delay to the bill entirely of his own making. In the face of growing economic hardship and spreading disease, lawmakers urged Trump on Sunday to sign the legislation immediately, then have Congress follow up with additional aid. Republican Senator Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania said he understood that Trump wants to be remembered for advocating for big checks, but the danger is he'll be remembered for chaos and misery and erratic behavior if he allows this to expire. Trump spent much of Sunday at his West Palm Beach golf course, adding insult to injury for a nation on the brink of disaster. Trump's supposed dissatisfaction with the legislation seems only to have grown in recent days, as he's reported to have criticised it both privately to club members and publicly on Twitter, despite taking no personal interest or making any effort in the months of policy negotiations. Britain today urged businesses to prepare for Brexit, just days before a transition period designed to smooth the UK's departure from the European Union comes to an end. Britain and the EU clinched a trade deal on Thursday, one which preserves zero tariff and zero quota access to the bloc's single market, but which will still cause disruption. The transition period under which Britain stayed aligned to the EU's trading and regulatory rules ends at 2300 GMT on December 31st. The deal is done, but with big change comes challenge and opportunity, Cabinet Office Minister Michael Gove said in a statement, adding that businesses and citizens need to get ready for these final preparations, as time is very short. The transition period was initially agreed to keep existing trade ties unchanged for 21 months after the original planned Brexit date of March 29, 2019. But the period was not extended after Brexit was delayed until January 31, 2020, and with over 1,000 pages of trade agreement published in full on Saturday, businesses have less than a week to adjust to the new rules. The UK government said that businesses needed to understand the new rules on importing and exporting goods between the EU and Great Britain, and the different rules that apply to trade with Northern Ireland. While service industries, the bulk of UK exports to the EU, could face potential regulatory or non-tariff barriers, Boris Johnson said there had been access for solicitors, barristers, and a good deal for digital. But on financial services, he said the deal perhaps does not go as far as we would like. The Prime Minister said more plans would emerge now the trade deal was finalised. MPs and peers will gather on the 30th of December to scrutinise and vote on the deal before the January 1st expiry of the current Brexit transition period. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.